Hello, everyone. Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on whereabouts you are. And bom dia to all of our friends in Portugal. I can see a lot of you guys who have joined the call. You are all very, very welcome. My name is Spencer Allingham, and I'm the Regional Vice President and Technical Director at Conducive for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And I'm delighted to introduce you to Undelete 11, our continuous file protection software. Now, if you have any questions as we go through, please do feel free to use the questions box in the WebEx app, and I'll do my very best to answer all of them at the end. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a stupid question, so please don't be shy. You're very welcome to put any questions there. As I'm sure you all know, losing a file can be quite devastating. Well, at Conducive, we understand, and that's why we created Undelete, which has become the world's leading recycle bin for file servers. With Undelete, you can recover lost or even saved over files in seconds, even if the files were deleted over the network. It's fast, easy, and a convenient first line of defense, allowing you and your users to get back to more productive work more quickly. You no longer need to spend ages searching through backups or tell a user they need to redo their work. In fact, we often hear from customers how Undelete saved the day again. And by the way, everyone who's attending today will receive a full free copy of Undelete Professional. That's our way of saying thank you for your time today. Trialware is also available if you want to try Undelete on more machines or on Windows servers, but that is your copy to keep running on your own workstation or laptop. Now, some of you may be thinking, goodness, I've never really heard of Conducive. Who are they? Well, we're actually a 38-year-old software company who've sold over 100 million licenses worldwide. So we've been going for quite some time now. Our Undelete software has also been available for many years and is itself used by thousands of organizations all around the world, from small companies to large enterprises, universities, government agencies, healthcare organizations and hospitals, and so on. So anyway, that's enough about us. Let's talk a bit about why you might want to consider taking a closer look at Undelete 11. Now, I've been with Conducive personally for many years, and I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've been on a call with an Undelete customer and heard them say something like, yeah, Undelete really saved my backside today, or Undelete saved the day. There are a number of situations that can occur that if you have Undelete proactively installed, well, it can make a whole world of difference. For example, a user might accidentally delete a file and they maybe don't remember exactly what the file name was or what folder it was in, or they overwrote a file and now need the earlier version back. And typically when a user needs a file back, well, they probably need it back right now. We hear a lot from folks who found us from searching the internet in a bit of a panic because they can't get a deleted file recovered, especially after what we call a zero-day delete, which is where a file was created and deleted since the last backup or snapshot was taken. And I'll talk more about how we can help with that in just a minute. Now, please don't get me wrong. Undelete is not designed to replace a good backup. You should still have good backups as part of your disaster recovery plan, and you should test their effectiveness on a regular schedule. That just makes sense. Undelete is designed to be your first go-to solution before having to rely on restoring from backup. It offers continuous data protection, and whereas backups are great for restoring entire data sets, Undelete is so much faster and more convenient to restore a single file or a group of files or folders in just a few clicks of the mouse, just like the Windows recycle bin. It really is easy, and you can recover earlier versions and even see who deleted a file. Now, recovering a file from backup can be very time consuming, especially if the user can't tell you enough information about the file that's been lost, such as its file name, where it was deleted from, when it was deleted, and so on. Now, I mentioned 0-day deletions earlier, where a file was created and deleted or overwritten since the last backup was taken, and therefore isn't recoverable because it wasn't saved by the backup yet. Snapshots can have the same problem depending on the frequency that they're scheduled to occur. They certainly help, but they don't fully eliminate that 0-day deletion risk and can be costly in terms of storage requirements. Now, you may be thinking, well, do you know what? We have the Windows recycle bin. Why would we need Undelete? Well, the short answer is that the Windows recycle bin doesn't capture files deleted across the network. It also won't work with files deleted from the command prompt or from within some applications. The Windows recycle bin is certainly better than nothing, but really it falls short of being something that you can truly rely on. Let's take a closer look at that. Let me show you what happens when a file is deleted from a network share from a user's workstation or laptop. So on the right is a file that's being shared on the network by a file server, and on the left is a user machine accessing that network shared folder and viewing the file. If the user deletes the file from the network share, it's actually deleted. It's not in the Windows recycle bin on the file server or on the user's local machine. That file is gone. To get that file back, you'd have to stop what you're doing and try to find it on a backup, which, as I mentioned, can be a time-consuming nuisance. The user can't work until he gets his file back, and it, frankly, can be quite a disruption for both of you. And what if this was a 0-day delete? No one wants to tell a user they need to redo their work, but how else could you get the data back? In the past, when I've been asked to sum up Undelete, I've said, well, do you know, it's a bit like the Windows recycle bin on steroids, or it's a bit like the old salvage file function for those of you like me who are old enough to remember Novell. Anyone else that old, or is it just me? Undelete replaces the Windows recycle bin with an enhanced recovery bin that offers complete file protection by being able to capture all file deletions, regardless of how they occur. That includes files deleted across the network, application file deletions, and even from the command prompt or from within PowerShell. Undelete has file versioning. To give you an example of that, we've got a customer who's a major clothing retailer, and they design all of their own clothes, all of their own pieces. Their designers are constantly making changes to files and saving them, but often want to go back to an earlier version to undo a design change. Undelete 11 lets them do that because it allows for recovery of intermediate iterations of files. As another example, picture that high-level exec in your organization who's been working on a PowerPoint presentation or number crunching in a complex Excel spreadsheet to get ready for a big presentation they've got coming up. And all of a sudden, there's panic because they accidentally saved over the data that they needed. Well, here's where you get to be the hero and come in and get those earlier versions back for them. And if you have some users who like to save directly to their own local machines, even perhaps if you've told them that they shouldn't and they should be using file shares, you can even get Undelete Professional for them so that they can recover that data for themselves without having to bother you. In Undelete 11, file versioning has been expanded to include custom file types in addition to things like Microsoft Office files, such as AutoCAD, Photoshop files, PDFs, and more. In fact, you can add the file types from the applications that you use the most and ensure that they have the added file versioning protection too. Another enhancement is that Undelete 11 now sports a familiar Windows File Explorer type interface, which makes finding deleted files easy for instant recovery. This includes drag and drop recovery of deleted files back to local volumes or folders. And the Undelete interface also enables the system administrator to monitor file deletions, providing forensic information to the sysadmin so that he can see easily who deleted what and when. Now, this last point is also an important one. Undelete has the capability to find those unknown deleted files with the extensive search feature. If you have the specifics of the file, well, great, you can search by name, location, date, owner, or even by who deleted the file. But in case the user doesn't know the name of the file, or you don't have all of those other specifics, you can use the wildcard search feature and search by just part of the file name, or even by a simple date range. Now, to give you an idea of just how quick, easy, and convenient Undelete is, let's take a look at that network file deletion scenario I showed you earlier. So first, the user opens the network share and deletes a bunch of files from the file server. Remember that these files don't go into the Windows recycle bin on the user's machine or the file server. They are actually deleted. And this is the point at which your day could start to become very disrupted. But because Undelete is here to save the day, you can open it and see all of the files that were just deleted. They've been captured by Undelete and now can be easily recovered. Simply select the recover option and choose where you want to restore them back to. In this case, we're just putting them back right where they were deleted from, and bam, they're all back. Easy as pie. No going to backups, just simply get back on with your day. And let me show you some of the additional features that you have with Undelete 11. Emergency Undelete is definitely worth a mention. Whilst it's preferable to have Undelete proactively installed before a deletion takes place, even if it isn't, there's still a good chance that you can recover files that were deleted before you got your hands on the Undelete software. And you'd be surprised how often this functionality is searched for on the internet. Undelete Server also comes with an Undelete client component, which you can distribute to key users, enabling them to undelete or recover the files that they have the access rights to from a server with Undelete installed, without having to bother you. Now, if you have a situation where you actually want to delete a file and make sure it's almost impossible to recover, you can use the wipe free space or secure delete functions. Most sysadmins know that when a file is deleted in Windows, the location of the data is marked as available to be overwritten, but that the actual file data is still there until it gets overwritten, which may not occur for some time. So to make sure that the data is really gone and really isn't easily recoverable, securely delete it. Undelete will overwrite the file data with several different character stamps, a technique actually that was developed by the American NSA and Department of Defense. Undelete 11 is now cloud ready. You can synchronize its recovery bin with OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Docs or one of the other popular cloud storage services if you want to. You can easily configure exclusion or inclusion lists to have Undelete only capture the file data that you really want to protect. The default exclusion list includes things like temporary files to really prevent the recovery bin from filling up with files that you would never really want to recover, but you can always modify the lists to suit your particular needs. Recovery bin management is also available. By default, it automatically manages the size of the recovery bins so that you don't have to. And this is also very configurable. You can have it purge older files when the recovery bin starts getting full to make room for files that were recently deleted, or you can purge files older than a certain number of days, retain files for a specific period of time, and so on. You can have a dedicated recovery bin for all volumes in one place, or a separate one on each drive or volume. There's really too many options to go into here, but you get the idea. It's very, very configurable to suit your requirements. And lastly, I'll touch on the remote installation and management. The Undelete Server Edition comes with the ability to remotely install or uninstall across your network to other Windows servers or users' workstations, laptops, virtual machines, and so on. Oops. Now, here's a closer look at that Undelete 11 interface. I mentioned earlier that it's been intentionally designed to look and feel like the tabbed ribbon interface that you have in Windows File Explorer. So it's something that you and your users are already used to using. And just to highlight a couple of those save the day experiences other users have had, we've got a few success stories highlighted here for you. PC Test found the file versioning very helpful and said that Undelete was much better and faster than retrieving from backup. Maricopa County also finds it faster than going to backup, and Money Movers sums it up beautifully by simply stating that Undelete works. Now, I won't go through all of these as well, but I must mention that Maricopa County Clerk of the Superior Court said that Undelete's ability to recover files had been crucial, and that the ability to provide the customer service that they wanted to with immediate results for them was great. Now, Undelete 11 Server, of course, is installed on Windows servers. That's Windows Server 2008 R2 and later. The desktop client is installed on users' laptops, workstations, and VMs if you've got a VDI environment, and it allows users to recover files that they have the permissions to from Windows servers that have got Undelete installed. Undelete Professional also does that, but will in addition protect a user's locally stored files with their own recovery bin. Now, for any existing customers that are on the call who've got active maintenance, well, you can download your Undelete 11 upgrade right now by logging into your customer portal at conducive.com/account. You can install Undelete 11 right over an existing copy of Undelete 10, and no reboots are required. There's no disruption. And that's also true if you're installing for the first time. You don't need to reboot. You just take between 1 to 2 minutes to download and install, and you're up and running. For those of you who have never tried Undelete, you can get a trial copy directly from our specialized website at undelete.com. You can also purchase the software online there too, and everybody who's attending today is going to receive a full free copy of Undelete Professional that you can install on your own workstation or laptop. That's yours to keep, and as mentioned at the beginning, is our way of saying thank you for your time today. Pricing, the server version is priced at about £530, or I think that's about 600 in euros, and it includes 10 client licenses. The professional version is about £60 or about 69 in euros, but there are discounts available for home use, government, or academic use. And we also offer volume license discounts if you need to buy a larger number of licenses. Just let us know and we can send you an indicative quotation that includes all relevant discounts for you. And of course, we're more than happy to work with your preferred reseller. Don't worry too much about trying to copy all of these links down right now. A copy of this presentation is going to be sent out to you all, so you'll get a copy of this slide very shortly. It'll be there in the video. If you need the software urgently though, go to undelete.com and you'll be able to find everything you need right there. So I hope this has been interesting. Let's see if any questions have come through, and I'll do my very best to answer them. So one question maybe came through a little earlier. Does it require a reboot to install? The short answer is no. No reboots are required to install this. There's no disruption to any live running workloads, no disruption to your users. You just simply install, and start using it. Now, again, this looks like a question that may have come through a little earlier. Does it capture deletes from a command line? Yes, it does. Whether that's the Windows command prompt or even the administrator command prompt or from PowerShell, pretty much any deletions that occur are going to be captured by the Undelete software, regardless of what calls for that deletion to take place. So I've got a question here on upgrades from the previous version. Does it save the previously deleted files in the new recovery bin? Actually, yes, it does. And in addition to that, it'll also save your previous configuration settings as well. So if you've had Undelete 10 installed and you've been setting it up to the way that you particularly wanted, those configuration settings will be maintained, as will any previously deleted files that were in the old recovery bin. So that's good. Now, there's another question here. Does saving deleted files cause overhead? That's a good question. Now, actually, putting a file in our recovery bin uses pretty much the same resources as deleting a file, which frankly is very little. You know, you're really not going to see any additional overhead because you've got the Undelete software there, but the benefits of being able to conveniently find and restore files, and I mean more conveniently than having to go to backup or snapshots, are very, very easy, are very, very large, I should say. You know, it is very convenient. It really should be a first go-to solution for recovering data as quickly and as conveniently as is possible. So I think that is all of the questions that have come through. Genuinely, I hope this has been useful information. Please do try it out. See how quick and easy it is. Experience it for yourself. And if you have any questions after the session, you're very welcome to reach out to us. All of our contact details can be found on our website at conducive.com or undelete.com. Reach out to us with any questions and we'll be happy to help you with that. Thank you very much for your time today, everybody. I do appreciate it. I know your time is precious, and as I say, I do hope this has been useful. Have a very good rest of the day, and yeah, we're here if you need us. Thanks, everyone, and take care.